called Ferndale. Ferndale is a very small, little touristy spot. Many people might have visited there, and so we don't know necessarily about damage or what might have happened, but a 7.0 earthquake that is just off the coast. But then at 10:47, there was also an earthquake that was about 9 kilometers near Cobb. That was 5.8. So two very large earthquakes within 3 minutes of each other in Northern California. These earthquakes were felt as far away as Sonoma County. No reports of injuries or damage right now. But again, these hit at 10:44 and 10:47. So we're not going to have a lot of information about potential injuries. Again, the larger earthquake was off the coast. It was about 61 miles away from a very small town named Ferndale. But we will bring you new information as soon as it comes into our newsroom.
Hey, everybody, we're live, and that's one of the reports on the tsunami that passed, but I want to show you, well, there's another one.
Breaking news, there is a tsunami warning for parts of California and Oregon after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck offshore. CNN's Chad Myers is live in the CNN Weather Center. So, Chad, this is the northern part of California. What more do we know?
This was a 7.0 earthquake just off the coast of Northern California. So there could have been a tsunami generated, a significant tsunami with inundation onto the land, Alex. This could be something here. We don't know numbers yet. Obviously, we don't know what the wave would have been. We don't know where it is right now, but we do know that Northern California, very close to the coast, would have already experienced it. So that's going to be our ground truth. But San Francisco, you could get some type of a wave here about 50 minutes from now. So don't count 50, count at 45 and be to the good here. But this was a very strong quake, very shallow as well that we think. The depths have been changing up and down as they're kind of evaluating what this earthquake truly did. Now, there was most of the shaking on land here, of course, not that far from Fort Bragg. But this is the area that could also see the waves from this. So we're not, I can't tell you what that is. And that just to me looks like the Pacific Ocean. I don't see a tsunami there, but it would be impossible to tell you what that looks like from this far up in the sky. I don't see inundation. It looks like just normal waves here. This is still Northern California here, coast. So you're going to need to be away from the water. At this point in time, this is the time you need to get away. Fort Bragg, you probably already saw your waves, and so now as you get down along the coast, a little bit of a longer lead time for you to get away from the coast there in Northern California. This would be considered a strong to a very strong quake. So this was a significant event here for the bottom of the ocean. The ocean moved in a subduction zone, likely the Cascadia Fault area there, and now the waves are coming through. It's hard to tell where high tide or low tide would have been here on these pictures. I mean, they do look like significant waves coming in, but almost every wave in the Pacific Ocean looks like a significant wave, especially in the wintertime when the big storms off the coast generate significant waves all by themselves. Get away from the water, get away from the land, get away from that coastal areas. If you're in Northern California, certainly the police there on the scene. Alex?
Important advice, that quake at 10:44, so just about 40 minutes ago. Chad, we know that you'll be keeping it.
Hey, folks, just want to let you know that even though the earthquake was in Eureka, and it's north of the San Francisco Bay Area, north of Oakland and San Francisco, the magnitude earthquake at 7 and its proximity to Northern California and the shore was such that the waves were felt as far inland and south as San Ramon. What you're looking at here on my live stream is a video from my friend's pool in San Ramon, and I'm going to play the video now so you can see how it caused his pool to, well, produce waves. Watch this, folks. This is what happened, okay? Here we go. See? You see how it's pushing waves out to the point where it's almost coming out of the pool? This is in his backyard. Look at this. These waves are generated from a 7.0 earthquake all the way out in the Pacific Ocean at a depth of 0.6 of a full kilometer and below, and that happened at 10:44 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 7.0 right off the coast of Eureka, not far from Reading, but about a good 30 miles north of the San Francisco Bay Area. But again, this was in San Ramon, out where Walnut Creek is. And this caused this pool to shake. So this was definitely an event, folks. This is definitely something, I'll have it move again. This was definitely something that was sort of the sum of all of our fears of talking about what would happen if the big one hit, because according to a number of seismologists, where the earthquake was actually where the San Andreas Fault terminates, and two other faults connect with it. So this was no small potatoes, folks. And once again, Northern California has dodged what would have been a gigantic bullet, if you will. We're watching a video. This one's from CNN. I can't quite get it in here, but they are a number of people who are looking at this video, and you can see the waves coming in. And by the looks of these waves, they're about a good, I would say 50% greater than the normal size for this time of day at that part of the coast over there. So definitely impact, definitely something that is life-changing in a sense, okay? So then you have to take a look at the number of quakes that happen. Look at this bubble area, folks. Look at this bubble area right here, where if I go down to where it says latest earthquakes, you see how, look at that, how many earthquakes happened in that area. Let me zoom in on there so you can have a better feel for it. There, see that cluster? Look at that. There you go. See, 1, 2. Here's the major one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 aftershocks. 18 aftershocks, folks. That's amazing. 18. So let's go back to the broadcast here.
Aftershock forecast for this event. So folks can go and look that up on the details of that up on the USGS website. They are forecasting that there's, maybe about a 40% chance of an aftershock larger than about a magnitude 5 or 5.5. So certainly it's something that we need to be aware of. Because this earthquake happened beneath the ocean and not directly under any population centers, it's certainly the most likely scenario is that any aftershocks will be smaller than the initial shock. We can't rule out the possibility of a larger earthquake, but the most likely scenario is that any aftershocks will be smaller. So certainly, again, for folks who are in that affected area, it's good to be aware of the possibility of aftershocks, because that is something that we do expect for an earthquake of this size.
So, but right now, let's see what CBS has interesting. It says, that's not the one we want. That's climate change. This is the one. Let's see here. There it is. Is that it?
All right, we are going to start with breaking news here. A large magnitude 7.3 earthquake just struck off the coast of Northern California. This map here, provided by the U.S. Geological Services, shows just how far off it is from the California coast. Now we're going to bring in our Brendan Minchek to give us the latest. Hey, Brendan.
Yeah, hey everybody. So yeah, tracking the breaking news, that tsunami warning's out. You may have gotten a shake alert. Shake alerts looks like they've gone all the way down, been issued all the way down towards Fresno, to Larry, and then up in the far northern part of the state. There has been shaking reported into Butte County. We've gotten reports of some light shaking in Butte County. Now, the important thing is there's a 7.3 magnitude earthquake about 60 miles off the coast. You see it there where the shaking has been. We have Rob up there in the back updating our earthquake maps for us. 7.3 earthquake, about half a kilometer deep. That is an incredibly shallow earthquake, and these are the types of earthquakes that can cause the tsunami waves. And so we do have that tsunami warning, which is issued from the coast of Oregon. You see it there, everywhere in red. Coast of Oregon, down Cape Mendocino towards Fort Bragg, also down through the San Francisco Bay Area, all the way into Santa Cruz. Now, the tsunami warning is going to continue to be updated. This is not something that gets issued and then left alone. This is something that seismologists continue to look at and update as we get more info and the earthquake waves go through the seismometers. Now, again, this is magnitude 7.3, so there are potential tsunami threats inbound for the Northern California coast. According to the U.S. Tsunami Warning Center, Fort Bragg in just 9 minutes could see some tsunami waves. Crescent City at 11:20, San Francisco at 12:10 may see some impacts from tsunami. Now, we don't know exactly how big these waves could be at this moment. We're not necessarily talking about massive waves. Tsunami waves could be a foot, it could be 2 feet, which in that case would obviously cause relatively minimal damage. But the the advice is, if you're in the tsunami warning area, if you're along the immediate coast, you evacuate inland, you get to higher ground above and beyond designated tsunami hazard zones, or move to an upper floor of a multi-story building. So again, if you are right on the coast, you are going to want to move inland. And again, this is a 7.3 earthquake. This is a very large earthquake that occurred maybe 60 miles or so off of Cape Mendocino, and you see that there. But again, it's not just the magnitude of the earthquake that we are concerned about. It's also the fact that it was half a kilometer deep.
So let's break that down. So
Yes.
it's a half a kilometer deep.
Yeah.
It's not that far offshore.
No.
Does that all lend the possibility that there would definitely be a tsunami, or more likely a tsunami, since it's that close and that shallow?
The shallowness of it,
Okay.
yes, is what's important. If it's really deep under the ocean, the wave has
Disperses.
more time to disperse
Okay.
through the water. But when it's real shallow, that shaking already starts shaking the waves at the surface when we're talking about half a kilometer is a third of a mile.
So how soon would we know? I mean, we have this happened a while ago.
Yes.
How long would it take for a tsunami to, say, get large and hit Santa Cruz?
Well, it depends on a few factors, and I am checking for the latest updated info right now from the Tsunami Warning Center. It depends, but like I said, that timeline right now from the National Tsunami Warning Center was giving us roughly until, let me double check the numbers here, roughly until 11:10 for Fort Bragg. So that's just 6 minutes. We could start to see some higher waves along the coast. And again, this wouldn't necessarily be a 20-foot wave,
Right.
but still a 3-foot series of waves coming through. It could be fairly significant.
Yeah, and a large stretch right up the coast is being impacted by this, like just so many areas
Yes.
into Oregon, you said as well, right?
Yes, that's right. So this tsunami warning, you can see it in orange there. I know it's highlighted in fog, but the orange color is the important part. That goes all the way down the Oregon coastline, down through Cape Mendocino, down through the Bay Area, and San Francisco Bay also impacted by this. So you could see waves increasing up through parts of the Bay and even parts of the Delta there. You see the orange. Yeah.
So it says through Sunday, almost to noon, for a tsunami warning. I mean, we're sitting here Thursday late morning.
Yes.
So this is incredible how long the warning would be extended for, based on the fact that they just happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not only that, folks, I have to point out, if you're watching on our broadcast here, there have been a number of aftershocks. The latest one is 3.4 on Richter scale, 19 kilometers west of Petrolia, California. That's there. Then just before that, 4 on the Richter scale, Petrolia. All these out in the water. And another, Petrolia. So that area just off the coast is still active right now, still active. There have been a total of 69 earthquakes today, over 2.5 on the Richter scale, but as you can see, the majority of them are in this area, or at least a good percentage of them are in this area off the coast of Eureka, California. But look, as I go down here, there's one in Ferndale, all right, Petrola, 47 kilometers west of Petrola, and this one says East Central Pacific Rise. Don't know what that means. Where we go down out. That That's not even in our area. Then we go back to Petrolia, and Petrolia again. So Petrolia is the center of action, folks. The center of action. And let's see if we go back to where we were. Zoom in a bit. Feel the right here. Then center it more. And yeah, that looks about right. There we are. There we are. So that's the latest. The tsunami warning has been lifted, but this place is still popping with earthquakes. So don't take your eye off the ball yet. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark Zenny62blog.com and OaklandNewsOnline.com. See ya.